Welcome to this 35-minute slow flow yoga. Coming to a child's pose with knees and toes together, arms resting by your sides, palms face up. Taking a deep inhale to the back of the body. And exhale, completely letting that go. On your next inhale, feeling the back body expand with the breath. And see if you can exhale just a little bit slower. Taking a moment to check in with yourself here. Maybe asking yourself, what is my intention for today's practice? Anchoring in this intention. And then bringing hands to the mat, widening the knees apart, extending arms forward, and then walking hands over to the right. Breathing into the left side body, hips resting towards the heels. On an inhale, walking hands back towards the center of your mat, and then threading the right arm under the left. If you can, bringing that shoulder down to the mat, maybe even bringing that left arm to the low back or reaching into the right hip crease. Breathing into the stretch. Resting the head and neck completely. If that left arm is behind you, extending it forward, pressing into the palm as you come back up. Walking hands over to the left side of the mat, resting forehead on the mat. Breathing in along that right side body. Hips resting towards the heels. On an inhale, pressing into the hands as you walk them back through center, sliding left arm under the right, resting towards that shoulder, maybe bringing right hand to the low back or reaching to the left hip crease. Breathing into the stretch, resting the head and neck down. If that right arm is behind you, extending it forward, pressing into the palm. And coming all the way back up here, walking hands into the body, maybe bringing knees together. And then interlacing fingers, hugging palms together, begin to circle the wrists. Getting out all the clicks and ticks, warming up through the fingers and the wrists. Releasing the hands, inhale, arms overhead, looking at palms together. Exhale, hands through heart center. 2 more times here. Inhale, reaching overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center. 1 more time as you inhale, creating space, reaching up. And exhale, hands through heart center. Taking a breath. And as you exhale, twisting to the right, looking over the shoulder. Breathing into the twist. With each inhale, imagine growing taller through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, maybe twisting a bit deeper. As you inhale, coming through center, arms reaching overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center. On an inhale, lifting chest to the hands. And exhale, twisting to the left. finding length through the spine, twisting a little bit deeper as you exhale. On an inhale, moving through center and walking hands forward, finding all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under the hips. Extending that right leg behind you and then circling the knee and the hip. Changing directions. And this time stepping that foot between the hands at the top of the mat, tenting the fingers, tucking back toes under for stability as you inhale, reaching arms overhead. As you exhale, see if you can sink down a little bit deeper into the hip. And then lift the chest up and back, shoulders down the back, maybe looking up to the sky, spreading the fingers wide. Breathing into the front body. As you exhale, bending the elbows to 90 degrees, continue opening the chest, hugging shoulders together behind the back. And then pressing into the feet as you exhale, slowly hinging those hips back, reaching arms behind you as you flex the front foot. Maybe interlacing fingers behind the back body, hugging palms back, chest opening to the front toes. Stabilizing yourself here. Breathing into the hamstring. On an inhale, slowly bending into that front knee, placing the palms down, finding yourself back in tabletop. Extending the left leg behind you and once again circling that hip, bending the knee, and changing directions here. And this time, bringing that foot between the hands, tucking back toes under as you inhale, arms to the sky, spreading the fingers wide, sinking into that lunge, opening the chest, maybe looking up to the sky. Breathing in through the front body. On an exhale, bending those elbows, opening the chest, hugging shoulders together behind the back. Taking a breath here. And as you exhale, begin to hinge the hips back, finding your balance and stability. Arms coming behind you. Maybe interlacing fingers, hugging palms together as you reach those arms back, chest opening forward. Breathing into the hamstring. On an inhale, releasing hands, bending back into that front knee. And then this time as the foot comes back, finding yourself in a tuck-toed child's pose. Waving the upper body forward and exhale to downward facing dog. If you'd like, pedaling out your feet here or holding it still, heels towards the mat. Inhale as you find your way forward into plank. And then exhaling the knees down. Hugging elbows into your sides as you lower chest and chin, keeping those hips lifted up here. Notice the sensation in the body. Pausing in the space. As you inhale, sliding forward, untucking the toes, and lifting up through the front body. Elbows in by your sides. Taking a deep breath. Exhale as you lower, arcing your spine, toes tucked, pressing back to that tucked toe child's pose, rounding the body forward and back to downward facing dog. Lifting right leg up behind you, bending the knee, stacking the hips. Closing the chest towards the mat here. One more breath. And as you exhale, stepping that foot between the hands at the top of the mat. Dropping back knee down, inhale, arms to the sky. Shoulders down the back as you sink into that lunge. Exhale as you bend the elbows by your sides, chest lifting. Taking a breath here, and as you exhale, hinging the hips back, arms behind you. Taking your time to interlace your fingers, palms hugging behind you as you open the chest forward. Breathing into that posture. If you can, keeping that body strong as you bend into that front knee, lifting back knee up off the mat, reaching arms to the sky, finding your crescent lunge. Hips squared to the top of the mat. Lifting up out of the ball of that back foot. Breathing here. Exhale as you paint the hands all the way down to the mat, finding your plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, lowering down, elbows by your sides, lifting those hips. Notice the sensation through the back body. Holding it here. Hugging those elbows in, sliding forward, untucking the toes as you lift the chest up off the mat, maybe the hips lifting up, pressing into the tops of the feet. Heart reaches forward, thighs and pelvic floor engage. Exhale, bending elbows, lowering back down, tucking toes, arching the back. Inhale, waving the body forward. Exhale, finding your downward facing dog. Lifting left leg to the sky, bending the knee, opening up the hips, stacking them here. Exhale as you step that foot between the hands at the top of the mat, lowering back knee down, toes tucked. Inhale, arms to the sky, sinking into your lunge, breathing into the front body. On your exhale, bending those elbows, hugging shoulders behind the back body, continue sinking into that lunge. And as you exhale, hinging the hips back, arms reaching behind you, hugging palms together, chest opening to the top of the mat. Breathing into the back of the hamstring, continue opening that chest forward. Stabilizing the body as you come forward here, lifting back knee off the mat, finding crescent lunge. Shoulders down the back, squaring hips to the top of the mat. And pressing out of the ball of that back foot. On an exhale, sweeping hands down to the mat, finding your plank position. Exhale, knees down to the mat, chest and chin, hips and tailbone lifted. Squeezing shoulder blades together, elbows by your sides. Inhale as you slide forward, untucking the toes and lifting up to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, finding downward dog. As you're ready, begin to walk the hands towards the toes at the back of the mat. Maybe grasping on to opposite elbows. Like taking a gentle sway side to side, letting the body hang heavy, breathing into the back body, releasing those arms, pressing through the feet as you roll the spine up, head and neck coming up last. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, finding mountain pose. Palms face forward, grounding through the feet. Hands to the hips, and then stepping the right foot forward, feet on two separate planes, squaring those hips forward. Puffing up the chest, elbows back. As you exhale, hinge forward here. Releasing arms down on either side of the leg or the mat. Resting head and neck down. Breathing into the sensation through the back body. Continue lifting the belly button towards the spine as you round forward here, pressing through the feet. On an inhale, heart opening to the top of the mat, opening the hips to the back of the mat, and stepping forward, feet at hip distance, sinking the hips down, arms up, chair pose. But instead of tucking the tailbone under, see if you can open it back, chest lifting higher, sinking down. As you exhale, hands through heart center, pressing up, finding mountain pose. Grounding through the right foot. Catching hold of the inside of that left foot, maybe staying here. Or pressing foot into the hand, hand into the foot, right arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, begin to hinge forward, finding your dancer pose. Breathing into the front body. Carefully releasing here. Coming back to mountain. And then bringing hands to hips. This time stepping the left foot forward, feet on two separate planes, squaring the hips to the top of the mat, puffing up the chest, elbows back. Exhale, hinging forward. And then round through the spine, hands to either side of the foot or the leg. Drawing the belly button up towards the spine as you round further forward. Continue squaring the hips to the top of the mat. Inhale, heart forward, hips open back. And stepping forward, feet at hip distance, finding your chair pose. Once again, instead of tucking tailbone under, opening it back behind you, chest opening up higher. Taking a breath here. Exhale, hands through heart center, mountain pose. Grounding through the left foot, lifting right foot up, catching hold of the inside of the foot, left arm to the sky, and staying here, knees together. Or begin to press foot into hand, hand into foot, as you find your dancer pose. Carefully releasing, finding yourself in mountain pose at the top of your mat. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down to the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to either side of the feet, bending the knees, stepping back, plank position. Chaturanga here. Finding your upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting right leg to the sky, bending the knee, opening the hip. And exhale, bringing the knee to the left elbow. Inhale, lifting that leg back up, opening the hip, knee bent. Exhale, bringing that knee to the right armpit. Inhale, lifting the leg, bending the knee, three-legged dog. And this time as you exhale, stacking feet over to the left, finding your side plank. Lifting those hips up, engaging side body, maybe reaching right arm to the top of the mat. One long line from the fingertips all the way down to the side of that heel. Sweeping the hand down to the mat, engaging the core as you step right foot to the outside of the hand, lowering back knee down. Inhale, reaching right arm back to the left toes. Continue opening the chest here, sinking hips down to the mat. Breathing into the stretch. Releasing the hand, stepping back to high plank. Chaturanga here, or coming directly back to downward facing dog. And meeting in downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting left leg to the sky, bending the knee, opening the hip. On an exhale, knee coming across the body to the right elbow. Inhale, lifting that leg back, opening the hip. Exhale, knee to left armpit. Inhale the leg back, three-legged dog. And exhale, this time stacking feet over to the right, finding your side plank. Maybe reaching left arm all the way to the top of the mat, one long line from the fingertips down to the side of those feet. Continue lifting those hips up, engaging side body. Engaging the core as you release the hand down, stepping left foot to the outside of the hand and reaching back to that back foot. Continue sinking hips down to the mat, chest lifting. Breathing into the stretch. Releasing the hand, finding yourself in high plank. From here, exhale, slowly lowering all the way down to the mat. And then placing hands under the body, palms face down, untucking the toes, tucking the chin under. Engaging the back of the right leg and the bum, lifting that leg high, pointing through the toes. Releasing it down. Engaging the back of the left leg, lifting it up, engaging the bum. Pelvis heavy, pressing down towards the mat. And releasing that leg down. Bending the knees as you lift the hips up here. And either staying here or maybe extending that right leg up to the sky if you can. Left toes reaching on that right leg, or maybe even separating the legs here, pointing through both toes. And carefully releasing legs all the way down, taking a breath here, resting on one cheek. Letting the whole body soften. Tucking the chin back under. Bending the knees, lifting those hips up once again. And then either staying here or this time extending left leg up to the sky, maybe right foot coming anywhere on that leg, being mindful not to press too hard on the knee, or maybe separating the foot and the leg, pointing the toes, spreading the toes wide, lifting up, engaging the back body, and carefully releasing the legs. Softening everything here, resting on the opposite cheek, letting the body become heavy. Shimmying side to side to release those hands, tucking toes under on the mat, bending the knees, grabbing hold of the feet, and then pressing feet into the hands as you lift up, finding your bow pose. Imagine reaching toes to the sky, spreading them wide, pelvis pressing into the mat as you open that chest, shoulders down the back. Lifting that chest high and exhale, letting everything go. Bringing hands by your sides, elbows bent to your sides, tucking toes under, arching the back as you press back to child's. And then rounding the body as you roll forward. Exhale to down dog. On an inhale, looking between the hands, step, hop, or walk. Bringing feet to either side of the hands, toes pointed out. Sinking those hips down, yogi squat. If you need to, adjusting the legs, making space here. Pelvis sinking heavy, chest lifted. Hugging palms together. As you release, finding your way onto your backs with knees bent. Crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. Flexing the foot. And maybe staying there as you exhale, hugging those legs in towards the body. Breathing into any tension through the outside of that hip. Finding length through the back of the neck on the mat. On an exhale, releasing the legs. And then carefully switching sides. Crossing left ankle over the right thigh, flexing the foot. And maybe staying there, or exhale as you hug the legs into the body. Finding length through the back of the neck on the mat. Breathing into any sensation. On an exhale, releasing the legs, uncrossing them, hugging knees into the chest, and finding a rock side to side, massaging the back body. Releasing feet down to the mat, soles of the feet come together, knees apart. Hands by your sides, or maybe one to the belly, one to the chest. Reconnecting with the breath. Noticing the natural rise and fall of the belly and the chest as the breath comes and goes. On an exhale, bringing hands to either side of the legs, drawing knees back together, extending those legs long on the mat. And then walking feet over to the right side of your mat, maybe crossing left ankle over the right, arms overhead, and shimming the upper body over to the right, creating that banana or half moon shape. Hips and shoulders on the mat. Breathing in through the left side body. On an inhale, shimming the upper body back to center. And then walking those feet all the way over to the left side of the mat. Maybe crossing right ankle over the left. And then shimmying upper body over to the left. Hips and shoulders making contact with the mat. As you allow the breath to come and go. Shimmying upper body back to center. Walking the feet back in hip distance or wider apart. Really reaching those arms and toes in opposite directions. And then circle the wrists as you bring hands and arms down by your sides, palms face up. Maybe circling the ankles. Finding stillness in Shavasana pose with eyes closed. And let this practice remind you that strength doesn't always look rigid. Sometimes it is in the softening, the surrender, the willingness to keep your heart open as you move forward. And taking your time to let this all soak in, knowing that I'll be here to guide you back out when it's time. On an inhale, preparing for movement. Inhaling right arm overhead, bending the knees, and rolling on to your side using that arm as a pillow. Left hand in front of you for support. Maybe taking a moment to come back to your intention here, pressing yourself back into a comfortable seated position. And as you find yourself in seated, hands face down on the knees, maybe allowing yourself to seal in that intention with one chant of Om. Om. Inhaling arms overhead. Exhale hands through heart center. Namaste.